每个人都是他那个时代的产物。
I think that the environment and time we live in has like a big impact on how we artist.
艺术家必须关注他的时代，他背后强大的根本的力量。Going to different places and different environments is all part and parcel of my practice.
I just hope that the work also does something to the space. So there are no real expectations. It's just open to have a look at and walk through. And in the best case, I think you get a feeling of how these containers are not limited anymore to their original use, but like the volume kind of opens up and now you kind of share the same space as the vegetables did before. So that would be maybe my expectation. I think in general I'm interested in using these mass-produced products. There are very little opportunities to avoid this kind of object. They kind of determine our daily life, and so every time such object is being used in a different way, I feel it's like a little kind of revolt. So when this box gets used as a stool, for example, I have the feeling this is maybe disobedience or something like that, in a very small scale, of course. When I was walking through the markets, I was just like attracted by like all the traces of usage I could find on the basket and also the different purposes they served for. Like not only containing the vegetables, but also they could like turn into a stool or a table or a trash can. So, and all these different ways to use them, they would leave traces, like maybe some applications like strings attached to them, or like some marks written on them, or factory's name and stuff like that. So I thought you can already read a lot on the surface of this container. So I wanted to use them and kind of transform them into a simple object that you can look at and become more aware of these kind of things that you usually don't look at. I was thinking about like a very easy way to construct these objects, and I was thinking about like all these different grids that the boxes show. So I wanted to use that as a kind of a reinforcement with the concrete. So usually you would put like a rebar steel into the concrete to make it more stable. And my idea was that it would be like a kind of a logical process to put the boxes into the concrete, so they would become like one unit, and that would be like my exercise. So it's also like a kind of like a factory, almost like producing one object after the other in the same method, and just like pressing the object into the concrete. And so the concrete has some kind of display function. Part that's not so easy is just you have to be paying attention on like how thin or thick the concrete is, depending on the pattern of the box. So if the pattern is like more open, you can use a more stiff concrete. But if it's like very narrow, you have to use a more liquid concrete. I think that may be the most difficult part on the practical side. And then of course kind of exhausting to carry them around.